Hi, I'm Kelly from freebiefindingmom.com, and thank you for joining me if you're watching here on YouTube. If you will, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you would share it, that would be awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and invite my Facebook friends now. Hi, Kelly here from freebiefindingmom.com. And I'm just going to take a few minutes and address the money questions that I've received this week. And as always, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or go ahead and message me on email, whatever is easiest for you. Anything pertaining to really finances and managing your money, saving your money. Oh, and if you're watching either on YouTube or on Facebook, please give me please leave a comment and let me know where you're viewing from. I just like to know where everybody is watching from. It's just fun. And so like I was saying, ask any questions you have pertaining to your finances, whether that is how to manage your money, be it that investing or how to budget your money, how to save money. And even actually today, I'll inform you of a way that you can make money from home, because I tend to get several questions about that on a pretty regular basis about how largely moms can make money from home. So I have an idea of something that you can do if it's of interest to you that I'll share with you a little bit later here. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and jump into a couple of the money questions that we've received this past week. The first one came from Anna, and Anna wanted to know, she said they have some extra funds that they've managed to set aside each month now, and she wanted to know if they should be starting to save for their retirement or if they should be starting to save for their kids' college. So, and you guys were so kind. You responded back, pretty much all in agreement, to be honest. And basically you had said you really need to start saving for retirement first. I know Barbara had mentioned that you should start saving for retirement because there's always going to be scholarships and financial aid available for your children for college. Great point, Barbara, because as someone who has had a lot of financial aid to put herself through college, like loans, and I've had grants, I've had scholarships. I also was a co-op in college, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a paid internship. So yes, those are all options that when your children get to that age when they need to be when they're going to go to college, then there are a lot of different options available to them. So definitely start to save for your retirement first if you have any additional funds. Now, like Mandy said, she brought up a good point. It's getting harder and harder for people to even retire anymore because of the cost of living. So, she brought up that point and quite honestly, like she said, maybe your children won't even go to college. Maybe they'll go into the military. Maybe they will go into a skilled trade. So, but if you can save for college, that's great. And who was it that mentioned that? Charlotte brought up that good point. Like if you can save for college for your children, great. By all means, set up a 529 plan for them and start saving for college. It's wonderful. But if you can, if it's a decision of whether or not to save for college or to save for retirement, hands down, start to save for your retirement. And like I mentioned before, Charlotte brought up the great point about, we don't really owe our children a college education. And as someone who did not have a college fund when I went into school, I basically just, you make it work. And like Charlotte said, she also got her education and went through school and worked, and it worked out just fine. Now I'm going to tell you, it's also going to probably be stressful, but it's doable. I did it. Many, many, many people do it. And like I said, your children will just have to likely do a combination of things. Like they may have to work when they're in school, which I did, which is not a bad thing. It's probably a great thing actually. And, besides working and then getting loans, which unfortunately many of us have to get as well, grants or scholarships are great if you're eligible for any of those. So Anna, to answer your question, I think we pretty much all agree you really should start saving for your retirement before you start worrying about your kids' college. And if there is any additional funds after you've saved for your retirement, then by all means, go ahead and put some money away in a 529 plan for your children. And now one other question I wanted to talk about was Valerie's this week. And Valerie made the comment that she wanted to know where are the best place to get quality, cheap swimsuits and for kids. And Trisha mentioned Justice for Girls. Since I don't have a girl, I don't I wouldn't know that, but I do know that Justice has super cute stuff because my friends like that store for their kids. But Trisha mentioned Justice. Jacqueline mentioned Old Navy, which is one of them that came to my mind first. Ross, Marshalls, or Burlington. And I mentioned Target is another option that you can find cute clothes at. And Beth had mentioned Costco has Speedos, and which is a good name brand. I've worn it for many years. And then Rachel mentioned Kohl's, which I love too, especially with when you shop at Kohl's and getting all their coupons and promos and things. You can really get great deals at Kohl's on name brand stuff. So hopefully that helped you, Valerie, to places where to go to get quality, inexpensive swimsuits for kids and adults, to be honest. A number of the stores, not Justice perhaps, but I know Old Navy sometimes has really cute suits, and Target and Kohl's does. So, so check those out if that's helpful. A few other points I wanted to mention about what's going on here at Freebie Finding Mom. The first one is don't want to forget to mention that today, the Kroger Free Friday download. So if you have a Kroger or a Kroger affiliate store near you, be sure to grab that download today. I think it's called AMP Organic. I want to say it's some kind of a drink. So grab that coupon today. You'll have another, I think at least a couple of weeks to redeem that, but be sure to grab that freebie. And then another item I wanted to mention today is I was able to get my new finance video out called it was the best financial decision that I ever made. And that was a fun video to do because I actually collaborated with a fellow blogger friend whose name was also Kelly. She blogs over at Freedom in a Budget. So if you haven't checked it out, I shared her video here. I believe it was Monday morning on the Facebook page. But if you haven't checked it out, if you're on YouTube or find my link here on Facebook, be sure to check out Kelly and Freedom in a Budget. She's great. She has loads of great videos about money saving tips and living frugally and getting out of debt. So be sure to check her videos out. And mine is up and it's live on YouTube, my best financial decision I ever made, which I will go ahead and put a link to that in the bottom of this post as well here on YouTube and on Facebook. And that was one thing I wanted to mention. And then this weekend, I'm going to try to tape it. We've got a busy weekend, but I'm going to try to tape a video of how you can save money making your own homemade face moisturizer and using essential oils. Now, I will say, I did some quick calculations for this last weekend, and I started basically just breaking out the cost of like buying a standard face moisturizer versus making your own. And quite honestly, you could save easily over $100 a year. And that's not buying like expensive face creams or anything. That's like buying stuff at the grocery store, at the drugstore. Now, if you go to one of those fancy stores in the mall to buy your face cream, then you would save even more. So, and actually that brings me to a good point. I have a video on how to make your homemade face moisturizer. I will share that down here as well, just so that you have that as a reference. But what I'm going to take this weekend is to show you the calculations, how much exactly you can save by making your own homemade face moisturizer. So, like I said, it was over $100 a year. So, which brings me to another point is I use essential oils in a lot of my DIY beauty recipes. And if you follow Freebie Finding Mom, you know that I love sharing homemade recipes for like skincare and just beauty recipes. And those are just one of the ways that you can use essential oils. If you're not familiar with what essential oils are, and most people probably are, but if you're not familiar with what they are, they're really a way that you can just use them, like I say, a myriad of ways in your life, in your family's lives, to live healthfully, to live more naturally and chemical free. So a lot of people diffuse the oils in the air. Like we love diffusing more of the citrus scents, like lemon is one of my favorites. Grapefruit we really like too. And having said that, you can also use them topically. And that's why I like these DIY beauty recipes. I've got so many of them on the blog. It's not even funny. I mean, if you go to freebiefindingmoms.com and go to the DIY section, there should be a drop down for, I think, like homemade beauty products or homemade beauty recipes. And in there, you'll see just so many. I bet I have about 50 by now. And I still make them all the time, actually. So that is one thing I'm going to be doing more of. And I think I'll probably be sharing more recipes on how to make your own homemade cleaners using essential oils too. Because what I think people don't realize is that you can save so much money using essential oils. And which is why I am bringing them to Young Living's line anyways, to you guys. Young Living essential oils has been around for over 20 some years. A lot of people use them and love them. And I think it would be a good fit for you guys since we're frugal and we like to have great products, but also save money doing it. So which brings me to another item is last night I had fun. I taped a Facebook Live video with my friend Stephanie, and here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, I did share that video here on YouTube as well. But it's a Facebook Live with my friend Stephanie, who's been selling Young Living essential oils for several years now. But basically, I wanted to kind of just give you kind of an overview of like how you can get started either using and or selling Young Living essential oils. Now, mind you, when a lot of people buy what they call this Young Living Premium Starter Kit, most people never sell them. But I wanted to mention it on the video because I thought it was important since I get so much feedback from you guys that you want ways that you can make money from home. And so once I learned, like with Young Living essential oils, how easy it is for moms, and I mean for everybody, but especially for moms who have limited time and need something that works and that they can actually, get behind, be passionate about, and that they can make money for their family. I thought I got to mention it to you guys. So that's why we did the Facebook Live last night. We'll do some more videos over time, probably in the next week or so. I'll just try to more informative, educational videos about essential oils. And but I love, like I said, to use them for homemade beauty recipes, but you can use them in cleaners, like I said. You can use them, gosh, like I said, it's for healing. Like, to be honest, I probably should mention this, but to be honest, if you follow me on Instagram, you know this past week that I wiped out on a treadmill, like full on, flew off the back of the treadmill. So I used lavender essential oil to help the scrapes on my knee. I'll spare you from showing you what they look like, but they were really gross, and now they're healing. And that's and the only thing I've used on them is lavender essential oil. So anyway, so I use them that way too. So I diffuse them. I use them for kind of cuts and scrapes, and I've used them on cold sores before. In fact, that's what I usually use them on, is a cold sore. I use them for DIY beauty recipes. One of my favorite beauty recipes, which I've actually done a YouTube video on before, is for a microdermabrasion paste recipe. It is so simple to make, and I kid you not, it honestly leaves my skin feeling so soft and smooth. And so I encourage you, if it's something that you have an interest in and you think, you would like to explore being able to save money for your family, and still live naturally, chemical free, and then I encourage you to look into Young Living essential oils, whether it just to pick up a kit or whether just to sell them even potentially. And I don't want to talk too much about the selling aspect. You can watch the Facebook Live for that I taped last night. But if you're interested in doing that, you would essentially be a member on my team, and I would be the one helping you grow your team selling Young Living essential oils. But so that's that. And then I want to mention one other thing is Young Living essential oils now actually has an all natural mineral makeup line, which I use and love. And it's called Savvy Minerals. If that's of something of interest to you, message me or leave a comment down here. I'd be happy to give you more information about it. I love that line. I'll tell you why, because I've only worn mineral makeup because more information than you need. But in high school, I had horrible bad acne, which is why I have like crater-sized pores today. But that's why I've never worn like the liquid foundations and stuff, because I just felt it was like very clogging to my skin. And so that's why when I found out that Young Living was coming out with Savvy Minerals, which is a mineral makeup line, I was like, yes, finally, because I was using the other kind of popular mineral makeup lines that I'm sure you probably know what those are. And they were working fine. But I love the fact that Savvy Minerals has come out with a makeup line where the product is actually good for your skin. Because that's one of the reasons I don't like to wear a lot of makeup, because it's like, oh, I don't want to irritate my skin. I don't want to aggravate it. I just don't want that on top of my skin, and like it feels like a blanket on my skin. I never felt that way with Savvy Minerals. And actually the makeup is actually good for your skin. And so I think it's great. It's great for anybody, but especially if you have like a young girl who's starting to wear makeup. If I had a daughter, that's exactly what I would use, be Savvy Minerals on her, because I feel like why not start them out with stuff that's actually good for your skin? That's not going to irritate it, especially if they have any like problem areas in their skin. I really like Savvy Minerals. And so you can check out that line. They also have a Savvy Mineral starter kit that you can get. And if you're interested in selling those, you can sell Savvy Minerals as well. So There's just I mentioned that because I like the products. I think you guys might as well. And also because I get feedback from you guys asking, how can I make money from home? Either I want to quit my job and stay home with my kids, or I'm already home. And, you know, we've had discussions about this here on our lives. Just, I want to be able to do some things, but my husband won't either let me, or I feel guilty spending the money or something like that. So I love opportunities like this where it can empower you to feel like you can bring in some money into the family and do with it what you feel is what you want to do with it. So I don't know, I love empowering women for that reason too. So that, I think I touched on everything. I touched on the Kroger Free Friday download. We addressed those 2 questions. I talked about a new video coming out, and also I'll put a link down below for the video that I just put out this past week with in collaboration with Kelly from Freedom in a Budget. And one last thing, if you do have any interest in essential oils, learning about Young Living, or not, whether you want to sell it or not, or whether you just want to get a kit, or you just are curious about them. If any of those are applicable, you are more than welcome to join my new Facebook group, which is called Oily Friends. My son actually came up with the name. He came up with a few random names before he got down to Oily Friends, but he did get eventually down to Oily Friends. I was like, oh, that's cute. I like that, Ian. So my new Facebook group called Oily Friends, and in there I'll share more tutorials, more information about essential oils, and if you're interested in making a business, or if you're just interested in using them, or if you know of somebody who might be, you're more than welcome to share this group with them and they can join. So I'll put the link for my new Facebook group also down below here, so you can go ahead and join that if that's of interest to you. And without further ado, it's really beautiful outside today. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. I hope it's really nice where you are as well. You have something fun planned with your family and friends. As always, please leave any money questions you have in the comments. I always come back and check them throughout the week. In fact, I check them at least once a day. So I will get to those, even if you leave a comment 3 days from when I'm taping this. It doesn't matter. I'll come back and get it, I promise. And anyways, I hope you have a wonderful weekend planned. And thank you so much for taking a few minutes to watch this. Bye-bye.